Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by April Collins.
Hi there.
And Sam Quattro.
Hello.
We are closing out our She-Ra Season 3 coverage today, talking about the two finale episodes of She-Ra Season 3 and kind of the finale episodes for that combined Season 2 and 3, if you think of it that way. Remember and The Portal, big episodes. Makes sense to talk about them together, and we'll be diving into all of the Katra and Adora and reality shifting shenanigans happening in these two episodes. Check out our previous She-Ra podcasts, including our season-long podcast and our episodes 1 to 4 podcasts at overlyanimated.com. We're on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher by searching She-Ra Overly Animated, and we're on YouTube at youtube.com/overlyanimated. Spoilers for all of season 3, all of She-Ra now at this point, so we're all caught up with these episode podcasts. Also, we're doing spoilers the whole way through. April, what are your opinions on these two episodes? You like them? Has your stance on anything shifted at all from the initial binge of She-Ra?
So I still like these episodes. I think it's it's interesting what we do in Remember, with like the time skipping kind of situation. So I kind of enjoyed that, but I also don't, it seems like whenever we do these like finales with She-Ra, like we did with season 1, like the second to last episode is like really, really huge. And then like the last one kind of sort of just tapers off from there. So I guess that's the format we're doing now. I don't know. Cause like I remember it being really successful like with the first season, and in the second season, I just like to think of the second season as the first half of this season. Because I guess the season finale episode wasn't all that huge. I mean, there was like a lot of stuff, but it wasn't like super big, like the end of season 1 and the end of this season. So, but like I enjoyed like the time hop skips. I like the like Adora and Scorpia moments. They were kind of very sweet, even though they don't like each other, or at least Scorpia doesn't like her. And then the whole like Glimmer and Bright Moon situation was interesting. I still don't feel like the whole Angella situation was really all that deserved. But it was kind of nice to see Micah, so that's pleasant. And just kind of like the differences between how like things would have played out for Glimmer and Bo. So I liked those moments of it. Still pretty good episodes. I enjoyed them, watching them again. So no real complaints there.
Nice. I think about what you talked about the second to last episode. I feel like the similarity between this season and season 1 is the second to last episode is like the emotional climax of the season. And then kind of the last episode's more of like the plot climax, but we care, I guess, more about the emotional climax, so it seems bigger what's going on in the second to last one. Yeah, I agree. I think it feels similar to season 1 in that regard. Sam, what do you think of Remember and The Portal, and anything changed since you initially saw the season?
Well, these two are my favorite episodes of the season, I think. I don't know. It makes me think about what April was just talking about, how like the second to last episode of the season is like always the big one. It's not like a thing that Netflix just does with the animated shows.
Yeah,
like,
I think of
that too.
BoJack does. I think of that as like the HBO prestige format. Like all the big HBO shows kind of follow that format. Second to last is the real finale.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought the whole mechanic gimmick, whatever you want to call it, with the portal and the mind wiping, man, I thought that was really cool. And personally, I love that Scorpia was the only link to reality that Adora had at one point, because we know that I love Scorpia, and she is the only person who I've ever loved in my life.
Wow.
As far as you know, listener. But yeah, I thought that the what? Oh God, I forgot the name of the episodes already.
The Remember and The Portal.
Sorry, guys. I thought the Remember was definitely. I guess it caught my attention more than The Portal, Because the portal's like, oh great, we're gonna like get Glimmer and Bo, and like, oh, they have the mind wiping thing too.
Like, how dare you
okay,
dismissively
all
talk
right.
about Glimmer? Okay.
All right, not that I don't like Glimmer and Bo, but like, I thought that the stuff with the Horde was more interesting in that regard. Because, like, we don't know what Force Captain stuff is like, but, like, we know what Glimmer's life is generally like, minus Micah half the time. So, I don't know. I like the change of pace, and I like the change of sort of narrative, I guess you could say, and the drama of trying to remember something. I thought that was really cool. I definitely A+ on these episodes, I would say.
A+, wow, okay. That's a high praise. We'll dive into that, yeah. And so for me at first with these two episodes, I was really thrown off by like the mechanic, the trope mechanic of like everyone's forgot and the main character's remembering, and I really kind of didn't like that, and it soured my taste on the episodes. Upon rewatch, I was appreciating them more, I would say. So I would say definitely rewatch these if you have not. Remember is really good. I think that's the best episode of the season. I was a little torn on that initially, but remember, the beginning's amazing, the end's amazing, especially Katra and Adora in the woods. I think that's like the best scene of the season. Basically my take on Remember is anytime Katra and Adora are on screen together, it's really good that episode, and then the rest is not that super exciting. I mean, I love Scorpia, but those parts weren't that interesting to me compared to the rest. Yeah, it's okay. Sad. It's sad, but I mean, I think that's also kind of true of the Portal, and that's why I mean, I'm number one Glimmer fan. Like, she's my favorite character. But I do think that the Katra and Adora stuff in these two episodes is the most interesting part. So when we go away from that in the Portal, it is overall a little less interesting. I think the Portal is very good, but not as good as Remember. And the strongest parts are, you know, when Katra comes back as like the corrupted Katra in that episode. And there's a lot happening in that episode. I like that it's hinting at some interesting things with Micah, you know, some Hordak Prime. I'm also down on the Angella stuff. We can talk about that. And yeah, I still, I guess, I'm not sold upon rewatch on the mechanic that we use. Like, this is like it's like the finale of the season. And, you know, when we really dive into this remembering thing and like everyone loses their memory, the alternate reality, it's like a really bold move, and I do really appreciate that the show did it. It's like, you know, and any notion that we would repeat things from season 1 or we'd get tired, that's always I guess a question in any show's season 2 is like, will things get repetitive? Like She-Ra is like not doing that. Like, we're trying new things, and so I really appreciate that. But I guess the downside would be, you know, we're repeating beats from episode 1-ish, but it's in like a different angle, and, you know, like Sam's like, we already saw what's happening on Bright Moon, yeah, but it's like a slightly different angle here, so I think there's enough to make the episode pretty exciting. Yeah, for me, the big thing is like, I want to talk about the Katra and Adora stuff. That's like the absolute primary thing in these two episodes. I feel like that's anchoring them. I mean, like, the Micah stuff's an interesting discussion point. Like, is the Angella moment earned or whatever? That's an interesting discussion point.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
But I feel like, really though, other than that, I don't even know. Like, there's good stuff in the Portal, but I like, let's talk about Katra and Adora. I don't know. Is there anything else other than what I mentioned that stands out to you guys?
No. Not really. I mean, like, look, more wrist grabbing, and no, they're cute, I guess. I don't know.
Who's cute?
Not Katra and Adora.
Okay, well, I'll talk about that. Yeah. So.
All right, not that I don't ship them, because I
well,
like
yeah.
it.
Where do you stand? I'm actually not sure where each host stands on co-host stands on Katra and Adora at this point. Honestly,
I think it's okay.
A lot of people like started off shipping them, and some have soured. Where are you, Sam?
I mean, I also started off really liking them, but then I've gone more towards Scorpia and whatever.
Quattro.
Catpia, as I like to call it.
Catpia.
Yeah. I feel like you could ship Catpia and Katra at the same time.
I mean, yeah. You could ship unrequited Catpia and ship Katra, which I'm kind of interested in. I don't know. Like, I'm not super duper into shipping. I did read a Catpia fic.
Only
I'm so
one?
glad. I've read one, and I was going to get confused with this episode, honestly.
That's why you can't just read one fanfic. Then it's like,
yeah, because it's like, is that what the episode is? And I had to rewatch it. I was like, oh no, it isn't. I think Katra is like okay. I mean, it is what it is. It's just like, this is the ship that draws people into the show, and the dynamic that draws people into the show. If you are of a certain ilk, I'll say.
What does that mean?
Gay. Gay or gay friendly. Let's say that.
Okay.
How about that? But anyway, like, they're being cute and whatever, but there's not much to comment. It's just the same stuff that we've been seeing. Like, okay, whatever. I'm not super excited about it at this point in time.
Okay, well, so that's an interesting point, because I feel like you could say Remember. If you didn't like Remember, I feel like the reason why is going to be because it's kind of a rehash of Promise. You could argue that, I feel like it's similar beats that Promise. At one point, we literally like show Promise on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you feel that way, Sam?
I did. I did feel like, oh, yeah, we've definitely been here before with this whole, oh, yeah, we love each other, but, oh, remember, we hate each other. That's right. Like, okay, whatever, dude. Just, I'm at a certain point in my life where I'm like, you can kind of see what's happening, and you can either be on board with it, or you can just be, And I'm not super duper.
Do you think past Sam would have been on board for Katra and Adora more?
Yes. If I was probably around 17 to maybe 20 or 21, I would be more into Katra and Adora, but I'm old now, so. Yeah,
I kind of agree with that, I think.
When I was younger and more spry, I would be more into Katra and Adora.
It's like, okay, just done with it at this point, right? Like, just why can't people be happy? I don't know if that's how you feel. You don't feel that way, but
okay, it's not that I love sadness, but it's like, yeah, like why do we need all this? Sadness? What? No, why do we need all this needless conflict that just keeps going over and over? But I mean, like, I'm sure that the writers, etc., don't mean to do that. And it's just like how the show is, you know what I mean?
Okay, well, let's dive into this.
It's not like a life mandate that like every animated show that has relationship drama TM just follow the same exact beats and like tropes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, even if we were to criticize Katra and Adora for being the too familiar of an arc and it's like tiring but that's everything, right? Like everything.
Yeah, exactly.
An arc. So yeah, I feel like it's unfair to a certain extent.
Like, I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying, like, I'm a world weary traveler.
Yeah, weary at this point. I do want to talk about this because I feel like this is the number one subject in the She-Ra fandom right now. But I also want to relate it to these episodes specifically. A lot of this discussion goes back to last episode 4. But I feel like it's like at first, probably like 80% of people that are watching She-Ra, maybe that's too high, but like a majority are very invested in Katra and Adora, shipping Katra and Adora. I feel like at this point, it's like 50-50. Like 50% of people are really into Katra and Adora, 50% of people are like, I'm kind of done with Katra now. Which is, I think, what this season wants you to react. Like, this is the Katra bottoms out season, and you're supposed to be frustrated with her at this point. So there's some people that are like, this is the arc, like she's bottoming out, then she'll recover and maybe have a redemption arc and get back with Adora, and they're like, I'm living for it. And then there's some people that are like emotionally where you're supposed to be, I guess, with it. Not that like it's wrong to be like anticipating this and reading the arc. I think both are valid. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Both are valid. If you're like a shipper that is like frustrated with Katra at this point, or also you can just not ship these two at all. But if you did ship them and now you're like frustrated with Katra, I feel like that's like you're following how the show wants you to feel right now.
Well, I think, and I don't think it's just a frustration with Katra. Like, there's a frustration with Adora as well in this relationship, because it's not just like, I'm going to say it's not one-sided. Like, both of them like feed into this destructive, relationship. And so like, that's because I was one of those people who was like, yes, Katra and Adora, let's do this. And now I'm like, this relationship is not healthy for either one of these people. And I don't want them to be together because like I say they deserve better for each other because they're not what each other needs, in my opinion, especially like at this point in the show too, because like And we talked about this with the last couple episodes too, is that like it's like they're not meshing anymore. Like they are exactly what the other person doesn't need for each other. So like especially with Katra in her continuous like spiral down, like the last thing she needs is like because Adora cares about Katra for still, even after everything that she's done, which is, I guess, like a little bit of a character flaw in Adora. Like, it's great that she cares about everyone, but it's also like a really bad thing too, because all she's doing is feeding into like this, like she cares about Katra, and she's just like, but it's really complicated. So.
Yeah, but you're feeling like you're out on them right now. You said they're not good for each other. Do you think this is just this point in the story and you'll get back on board, or you think like I don't think I'm going to be on board even if they try to reconcile?
I don't know. I mean, like Katra especially is going to have to do like some character improvement, development. Like she needs, we always talk about therapy, 100%. Like she needs it. Like that, at least I could say like in terms of that, my stance hasn't changed since like watching it over the first time. But like it would be really hard for me to have them as a romantic relationship at the end of like after all of this. Like that's a lot of resentment to feel for someone when you say, I don't care if the world blows up, I just don't want you to win. Like that's, wow. Yeah, which is what she tells Adora. Like that's a lot. Like, and why would like I just don't know how you would ever come around from that. So it would be really hard to sell me on that.
Yeah, I think like that's where the show is putting people. Like I think it's so interesting. I think the show is doing it intentionally, but also it's like if we're really doing this kind of straightforward. I mean, it's not straightforward. It's a very circuitous arc, but it's like one we're all imagining from the start of the show, right? It's where they're bad, they fall out, and we don't know if we thought that Katra would like try to blow up the world, but she, then they're like, then they're very out, and then they come back together, and then they end up together at the end. Like that's what we all thought. If they're doing that, which we're not. Maybe they won't. Who knows? But if they are, then it's like it's going to be interesting to see if people get back on board. And I feel like the show is aware that like this is the most extreme version of the part 2 of the 4-part arc. I feel like that we would have gotten with Katra. Like this is we went deep into the Katra being destructive thing. So like the show's going to be aware of that. So what's coming next in terms of like in terms of reconciling her character, redeeming her character? How would that even work? I think it's going to be very interesting. I don't think it's like the show messed up. I feel like it's very intentionally doing this, so it must have a pretty distinctive, interesting next step planned.
Yeah.
So
like, and I think the other thing that kind of needs to happen too is like, it's going to sound so terrible, but I need Adora to stop caring about Katra. Like,
well, let me talk about that.
Break.
So,
yeah.
April, you mentioned that you thought Adora had fall too. So I feel like that was like very much season 1, what that type of where you wanted you to believe. Where Katra's like we very much saw things from Katra's perspective. Like here's Katra was put. Here are the reasons why she's the way she is. Adora's not helping. Adora maybe wasn't great either. She did the best she can in her situation, but maybe, both of them didn't do great things. Both of them had bad circumstances. I think this is like the season where the show kind of turned on Katra, the show's perspective. Like,
oh yeah,
like before, if you were like, I love Katra and Adora, they both are kind of not both doing. Not that I necessarily agree with this, but you could have had the perspective like they're both doing the same amount of things wrong and right. This is the season where like the show is absolutely blaming Katra, I feel like, for what it's doing.
It's okay because she's blaming herself, she's blaming other people. Just kidding.
It's just very clear that she's blaming other people. She literally gets punched in this last episode.
Well, yeah, she's a victim, and that's what we talked about. With the previous 2 episodes is that she very much sees herself as a victim. She doesn't want to take accountability for her own actions. Like she puts all of those actions onto other people and finds a way. I mean, she literally she tells Adora like, this is all your fault. Like, and that if you hadn't like gotten captured, then like, which is like this, like as soon as she said that, I was just like, wow, you are not okay, sister, because you literally just blamed Adora for the world being destroyed because she got captured by you. Like, that's a really hard stance to take. But that's the other thing too, though, is I feel like Adora also plays into Katra.
Yeah, that's what my next question is going to be. Where are you seeing Adora's faults as of this finale?
Well, yeah, so she definitely plays into Katra, and her fault is that she cares about Katra, and she really needs to stop, because that's kind of what keeps getting her into like trouble almost, is her caring about Katra, and all it does is infuriate Katra more, because Katra has the mentality that she is a victim, no one cares about her, Adora left her, Shadow Weaver left her, like all of these things, but then Adora's just like, you know, just continues to care. Like, at a certain point, I feel like, at least I personally, but everyone gets tired of those people who are always like, the world is always against me, like, everything. But then there's no, like, again, as Adora points out, I wasn't the one who made you, like, flip the switch. You did that on your own. Like, you chose that. And so I think that needs to be the stance that Adora continues to take, is because Adora also likes to blame herself for everything as well. So, you know, she uses the whole, like, well, I don't want to end up like Mara thing. Like, okay, that's fine. And that's a legitimate concern. But, like, you can't also hold back just because you don't want to end up like your predecessor.
So if one of the big things is that Adora hasn't cared too much about Katra, she hasn't been able to let go of Katra, I think is another way of saying that. I think the show is also saying that, and I think in the portal, I think the show is saying she is letting go right now of Katra. I think she's finally, after all of these, she's seen, like, and it's, you know, it's like mostly on Katra, but she's been playing into whatever Katra's doing by still caring so much. She's like, okay, I need to let go. We have this moment at the end of the portal where, you know, after she punches her in the corrupted form, she's like, as She-Ra, she's like staring defiantly at Katra, and Katra like finally breaks in like, she always puts up such a tough front with Adora, and she just looks devastated in that moment. Yeah. Like, Adora's, the way I read that moment is basically Adora's finally like, I'm done with you, and Katra cannot process this, because her entire, like, I don't know about worldview, but what she's been going on recently has been based around kind of Adora still being in on her, and you know, what's she gonna do now? So would you say that you're like happy with Adora at the end of this finale then? Yeah.
I was proud of her. I was like, thank you for please like standing up to this person, and also standing up for yourself too. But I need that to continue on. Like,
you're right. It's just one moment, right? Will it continue?
Yeah. And part of me, like, I just want to be hopeful and believe that it will continue on. But also the fact that, like, Adora let Katra get away at the end doesn't give me a whole lot of hope. You know, like, I feel like I don't know. Like,
that's true. Maybe she could have done more. Maybe she could have, I guess, taken her prisoner. But isn't she letting go by letting her leave? You know, like letting her leave her life.
No, it can't be like that.
Is it just not real? Is it just not realistic? Because like she'll come back at some point.
Yeah, of course. So they're literally setting it up for, you know, all of this to continue on, like all of this nonsense between the two of them. So because who's to say that Katra isn't going to come back, you know, next season and be like, oh, like, I didn't get to destroy the world, and your portal got closed, Hordak, because of like Adora and She-Ra and all of those princesses. Like, there's no way that she would continue to take, like, I mean, there is the possibility, but I just don't believe in my heart of hearts that she will like own her actions from the previous season. And then, like, that's nice that Adora, like, stood up to Katra, but I feel like she also did that kind of a little bit at the end of season 1. And so we're just like, again, we're repeating history a little bit with these two.
Yeah, I think this one feels very different. But you're right. The big question is like, will Adora maintain the stance towards Katra, and will Katra, like, she seems so devastated at the end here, is that gonna like sink in, or is she just gonna go back to her old ways? Those are kind of, I think, the big questions heading out of this last episode. Sam, what do you have thoughts on that kind of that moment between the two of them at the end when Katra looks devastated? And do you I don't know, do you think that this is gonna hold for either of them, this new state with the two?
Oh God, I hope so. I mean, we touched on how, you know, kind of horses being beaten and it may or may not be dead at this point. So I hope that this dynamic holds where it's like, oh, you know, I'm rock bottom. Those were some words that just came out of my mouth.
I didn't hear any words, but that's okay.
I heard mouth sounds.
Yeah, the like crying sounds. My impression of Katra. I don't know. Like, I need a break from this. You know, if Katra is like utterly like shooketh that, you know, Adora won't put up with her anymore, like, good.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Don't do it anymore. Just leave each other alone.
But then Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, you keep going. I was
gonna say. Well, then that leaves the question as to what's going to be Katra's motivation going forward.
Hopefully, Scorpio. But like,
well, because right now she's just so fixated on not on Adora left me. Oh, I can't let Adora win. And so if she's ever like, what is going to be her motivation for whatever it is that she decides to do going forward? Like
Katra depression time.
Katra she's just depressed.
She just lays in bed and she has a whole depression episode.
I feel that.
Well, so like we were talking about, I feel like Katra's entire worldview has been kind of like based on Adora, and I think Shadow Weaver too, but like both her self-image is so based in Adora and Shadow Weaver, and now that if Adora wants nothing to do with her, like, yeah, what, like, she needs to find herself, basically. I think that's like the next arc with Katra is she goes off somewhere. I still think it'd be really good if she went to Beast Island and met her family. Like, I think that would be the most healthy way or something. But have connections that are beyond Adora, you know, maybe like realize Scorpia cares about her, maybe rekindle the friendship with Entrapta, who she just betrayed big time. Like those are the things she needs to be doing. But yeah, it's like everything she knows has been flipped upside down. And that's why I do think this will stick. Also just like a meta reading of the structure of the narrative. This is the halfway point of the show. So it's like, you know, this is probably where things are going to start changing for Katra. But, like, this is such a huge event. And, Adora, if she does realize that Adora wants nothing to do with her, and how could she not? She literally punched her.
Yep.
Like, how could, I mean, maybe it's corrupted her. Does she remember? I assume she remembers that. But that's why that was such a great moment, and we'll make that the pod screen cap. By the way, that was suggested by Katra Adora fans, so I don't think that's
great.
Oh
my God!
I feel like they love it, though. I feel like they love.
Have
all
you
the
ever
drama.
heard of the song "He Hit Me and I Felt Like a Kiss"?
That sounds problematic.
Yeah, it's a real song that came out.
This is very problematic, and I'm not okay.
I don't think that's what Katra Adora shippers are feeling. I feel like they just
more
love
like
the drama.
Ironic in its usage. I'm not going into 60s Motown later, but like that's the kind of like, what are we? What are we doing with our lives?
Yeah,
why are we requesting?
People are living for, if you want, like, the people that are shipping Katra Adora are people that want like kind of this angsty arc, and so this, you know, like I think it's totally valid to like relish in the angst of where we are now. It's also valid to like react to that. I think I feel like at least with She-Ra, people react very strongly emotionally to the show.
I have too much drama in my own life to deal with any of that.
We're just done with it, but some people like
like, yeah. I have my own depression to deal with. I can't handle Katra's.
I can't handle this punching thing being like, oh, it's like a love.
I don't think people think it's a loving. No. I don't think so either, but like, no, I'm not saying people are saying that, but yeah, it's an iconic moment.
I was gonna say, I'm sure they're hopeful that this moment or that moment is
this is the wake up call, the wake up punch for Katra. Yeah.
wake up punch, whatever.
Do you remember Zutara and like how that was? Like she tried to heal his scar and then she just like decks him later in the episode. Anyway.
Okay, so where's the Katra? You're saying Katra and Adora will have a healing moment at some point?
God, I don't want any of this.
She does have healing powers. She heals She-Ra earlier, or she heals Shadow Weaver earlier in the season. So I think going forward, Katra is like, she's going to be devastated that Adora doesn't want anything to do with her, and Adora is like, I think she also has to formulate her new worldview without Katra, because even though she has so many other things in her life now, she's still held on to those emotional ties of Katra so heavily, and this is a harsh wake-up call for Adora too, and how she can handle this. I could see her not reacting well too. I know, I could see like, well, I mean, this is like selfishly wanting Adora and Glimmer moments, but like I feel like Glimmer might get like Adora's like zoned out, thinking of like sad that Katra she's done with Katra, and then Glimmer's like, I'm right here. Why aren't you talking to me? I feel like you could include Belle in there too. Stuff like that.
That would also be, I guess, like not my favorite thing to see is if like Glimmer ends up becoming the new Katra. You know what I mean?
That might be where the show's going.
Because Glimmer is going to be going through a lot in these upcoming episodes, given the fact that now she doesn't have her mother anymore. But like, as long as it doesn't turn into like the Adora, like, pay attention to me, Adora. You know what I mean? Like, I'm having a really hard time, and then Adora doesn't pay attention to her like that. I just hope we don't see that.
Yeah, well, that could play into the upcoming Glimmer angst arc. I mean, we talked about this on previous podcasts. We're expecting maybe a dark Glimmer arc because Shadow Weaver's influence, and also she'll be sad but lost her mom.
Oh, yeah. Dimmer, yeah,
Dark Glimmer's Dimmer. That's been the name people have suggested. Yeah, I think I have hopes that the show will not just make her the new Katra. It will be more intricate and hopefully not like that. But I feel like okay. Getting back to Katra and Adora here. So that's maybe moving forward. I want to get into remember, like, what they're doing, like what led to this moment where they're, where Adora's done with Glimmer, because we have this whole, they're reliving their horde life. And as someone who's not, the most into the Katra Adora for the most part, although I'm like into it, like watching how the show works with that, and I think it's going to be canon. I found they're like very affectionate in the beginning of Remember in this like alternate reality horde, and I don't know, I thought it was like really, really nice. Them just being affectionate and touchy and happy with each other. It was like, wow, this would have been so much better. Not Katra not being so angry and terrible. However, like this was like a very striking alternate reality.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because I've been asking this of myself. So is Katra fully aware the entire time in Remember of what the situation is, and she's just playing dumb? Or because it also seems like the world that like Adora wakes up in is very molded to what Katra would have wanted. So I also wonder if like, was this, I guess, like alternate reality molded from like, did Katra decide what this world was going to look like and then is fully like aware the entire time? Or is she just as blind as everyone else is in this episode or throughout?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting reading, I think. We don't really know why this is the alternate reality we're exploring. We learn at some point that the collapsing is centered around Adora because of the sword. That's kind of the only explanation I feel like we get. So I feel like that's an interesting reading of it. In terms of is Katra aware, I feel like there's a moment when she does remember in the woods when they're or at some point. I definitely read the episode as she is not aware of, and she's at some point she remembers. She's not like that. I mean, you could totally see like if she was aware of what's happening, her just like playing dumb, just to like relish in this is what you wanted all the time. I would say
April's really galaxy minding us right now.
Yeah, I would say the episodes okay, in terms of Katra remembering the episode's intent is no, but like that's valid in terms of like why is this the reality? I hadn't thought of that. Like why is this what we're seeing,
Yeah, because again, like it just seemed like it came out of like Katra's wildest fantasies, like maybe she didn't necessarily want to be Force Captain, which would explain why she's not. And it still falls in line with like Adora, who had just recently been promoted. Like they they're obviously they're way more affectionate in this episode than they were like in the first episode ever. So there's like that whole thing, and even like the way that she kind of handles like Adora having her moments. She's very much trying to like downplay it, like, hey, you're not crazy, like that door never existed, what are you talking about? And really, like, it only came about like the second time that I watched it that I was just like, is Katra fully aware? Does she know what's happening? Like, did she make this place? So that's
interesting. I would say she's not aware, but she could have subconsciously made it and still not been aware of that. I think that's possible.
Like the portal read her mind, or I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
It also read. Well, then how does she know about Micah though?
Well, maybe she wouldn't. Maybe like the world sort of fixed itself out after that.
Yeah. I don't think it's supposed to be like. I don't think it's supposed to be like a Catra's fantasy. I think it's just supposed to be like a alternate, like literally, it's like a scientific alternate reality.
Everything in its right place.
Yes.
Yeah, but in that regard, everyone comments how perfect it is. So maybe there is a dreamlike element to everything. I mean, certainly, like, thematically, I think there is. But, I mean, I guess that's a problem I have with the two episodes is there's no, like, there's a plot explanation. It's like, the sword caused this, but, like, I just don't understand how anything's working here. I feel like that's a weakness, but it doesn't really matter. It's more important what's happening with the characters and themes in the episode.
Well, I just think that it would make the episodes, like, at least remember that much more interesting if Katra, like, you know what I mean, had some type of like hand in it. So
yeah,
I think maybe that's the other reason why I interpreted it that way too, because I was just like, this makes it way more interesting. Like, this is what Katra always wanted. Like, they're winning battles. Like, Shadow Weaver is nice to her. Like.
That's true. There's the whole scene of Shadow Weaver being affectionate with her. Yeah, I think regardless, this is what Katra always wanted. Like, whether she had a hand in it or not, this is what Katra always wanted. They have the scene on the rooftop where they're like, we're gonna rule the world together. Like, and Adora's like, I don't know about that, but yeah, that was but yeah, also just before that, they're just very hands-on, and I don't know. I was feeling it, the romance there in the beginning of this episode, in a way that I hadn't from the angstiness before, because this is the type of stuff I connect with in shipping.
Yeah, this is Dylan's like his jam.
If this was Capture Door all along, I would have been in, but it's not what we're doing.
This wasn't. This is never it. Like,
it's like, no, this is way too happy for Capture Door. But I think it was great to see
Dylan. It was perfect.
It was just perfect. Yeah. I mean, there would have been kissing if it would have been perfect for me.
Oh my god.
We don't need to get into that again. Sam doesn't like that. Sam anti-kissing. But
I'm not anti-kissing.
In the show.
Dylan, you have to understand. I'm not anti-kissing. I just feel like there's a time and a place.
Yeah, okay, end of the show. Is that good? Can we get kissing at the end of the show?
I don't feel like we've ramped up to it yet.
Yeah, well, we're only halfway through, so we'll see. We'll get back to that question. Okay. And then, we get to the Katra and Adora in the woods, which I feel like is the main thing here. This is like I said, I think this is the best scene of the season. This is very much like the sequel to Promise. And I feel like it's not just the same as Promise. I think this is the season 2 version of Promise. This is this season 3, but season 2 overall. This is like the part 2, where it's like everything's bad, and like this is we got the angst from before, and we're not working it out. First of all, Adora starts strong by saying, "I won't leave you behind again." That's like a quick moment. So that's not even. It's like, yeah, okay, we learned the issues here, and Adora understands and is like, I'm not going to do, like, she's trying. Adora's really trying here.
But that's the thing. Adora's tried so many times.
You're saying she shouldn't be trying.
Yeah, because she's offered, like, I'm not going to leave you behind. Like, she's always said, Katra, come with me, Katra, come with me. And Katra's always been the person to be like, no, like, I want to stay here for no reason.
Yeah, after initially leaving without her, she has been very much like, you should come to the good side. We get a flashback to that as well. Though. Like, come with us. Yeah, so Katra says, why can't you just stay? We have everything we ever wanted. Adora says, it's not real, Katra. As much as I wish things could be as simple as they used to be, there's no going back. Like, kind of, I feel like that's a thesis statement for this episode, they're where they are in life. I like shows having thesis statements in their dialogue. That makes things easier to analyze from a podcast perspective.
Sure.
We can, no, maybe that sounds like a criticism. I think it's good to be clear with themes sometimes.
No, I'm just like,
yeah.
Is that what a thesis statement is?
Usually
you're
it's at the
stating
beginning.
your
This is at the
intent.
end. Yeah. Okay, but then we get this memory of them promising his kids from Promise, and I love the way they edit this together, and it goes right into in the flashback right into Adora in the present saying, "I promise everything will be okay if we just stay together." Right back into a memory of them, Adora trying to get Katra to come with her, back into "help me fix this, please," just like stitched together. I was like very emotional. I felt it's like here's this is the last chance for Katra to accept what Adora is saying and to go with her and to leave behind the horde. And of course she says she's never going with her, and she starts attacking her.
Yep.
She's like, Katra, look what's happening. You're going to destroy everything. And as we referenced, Katra says, "I don't care. I won't let you win. I'd rather see the whole world end than see that happen."
I don't know about that.
That's an intense
It's
feeling.
very intense. Yeah.
I mean, I've disliked some people in my days, but I've never.
I won't let you win. I'd rather see the world end. So Katra doesn't, I guess she acts upon this. So in that regard, practically she does feel this way, but I don't think of course she doesn't feel this way deep down. This is like, maybe, is that a hot take? Like she doesn't so intensely hate Adora. She views her hatred of Adora like that's not real. It's just a facsimile for other bad things that happened in her life. Like I guess at some point when you act upon something, it's real. But if we were to get down deep enough in her psyche, she loves Adora. She doesn't hate Adora. She hates Shadow Weaver. She hates the abuse she went through. She hates the situation she's in. She hates all the emotional trauma. Probably interacting with things going wrong in her head. Like there's, it's just like she's coalescing this hatred of Adora as a representation of all these other things. So like, I feel like for me, this is sad because also she doesn't even mean it, and she can't see that.
She needs a central thing or person to misplace all of this like upset that she's had in her life, because again, it goes back to her being a victim, and so at some point, like, you have to sort of centralize that, and so it's just easier to, I guess, project that onto Adora than it is to, I guess, address the real issues or, put the appropriate blame where it needs to go. So, maybe she loves Adora, but
it's too buried anyway, so it doesn't matter. Is that
I think, I just think it's like way too buried. It's so gone. Like I don't know if she legitimately doesn't know I feel like she doesn't know what love is anymore, or any type of adoration.
That makes me sad.
It makes me sad too. Like I would never want that upon anyone, but also like it's the only way I can think to explain how, like, what she's going through in this moment. You know what I mean? Like,
it's an interesting point that when's the last time Katra really experienced love? Adora's trying to show her some of it, but it's clearly not getting through, and she's not getting it from really any other source. And
well, but that's the thing.
Scorpia, Scorpia's showing her love, but she's also rejecting that. Yeah.
Well, and even I would almost argue that Adora has always shown Katra love. Like,
I think so, yeah.
And so you can't blame Adora for like her not loving Katra, because she obviously does, like, and that's why she continues to care about her. Like, I feel like that she has a very deep love for her. But like Katra I don't know that Katra will ever see that, and she definitely doesn't see it in this.
She's certainly not seeing it right now. Yeah, and I like what you said about she's kind of coalescing all of this. All this other stuff into this hatred
Yeah.
towards Adora. Yeah,
It's just it's easier for her too. Like for her mind to be like, all of these bad things are happening to me because Adora over here.
right. I mean,
like,
thinking about it in a dark lens, coming to terms with the fact that you were abused at such a young age, like she is, that's really hard. So, I mean, you could totally see why she would not really be able to understand that and put that into something else. Yeah, I think that's kind of depressing, right?
I mean, it's real life for people, so I can relate to it, but like, I don't know, it's just frustrating for me to watch it because I'm like, am I like this? So,
well, you're not opening portals to end the world, or that's fine.
You don't know that, Dylan.
Yeah,
at least that I know of. Maybe you unsuccessfully have done that, but I wouldn't know if it was successful.
Yeah, you wouldn't remember.
Oh, this is an alternate reality. Okay,
until we have our remember episode, Dylan. So
okay,
prepare
wow,
for it.
Sam, what do you? I don't know. Where are we going with
deep stuff here?
I guess. How about what I said? That Katra doesn't really like. She literally says, "I won't let you win. I'd rather see the world." And I'm like, I don't believe you. Like, I think she does love Adora. Do you think that?
Yeah, I think so too. I think she's trying to gain, not leverage. I don't know. It's like she's trying to be like, oh, I don't care about you, but like she really does. But to an extreme where she is willing to put the world on the line, which isn't good, obviously. But I do think that Katra does love Adora, and I think that she's just hurting, and she's saying things that she doesn't mean, and she doesn't know how to process her feelings.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I've been there in my life as well. And how old are they supposed to be? Like 17, 18?
Yeah, I think around there. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I was that age, and up until a couple years ago, I was a rambunctious little kitten as well. Not with world ending at my fingertips, but like there is a reality there, and I think that she needs to like just take some time away and just evaluate what she wants in her life, and just just think about how she was abused and like just work through it, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like what else is there to say?
Yeah. I mean, it's similar things we've been saying, and I guess that's maybe a frustrating thing, is like nothing's really changed with their situation. It's more just like Katra has not been able to get past it. This could have been the season where Katra started the redemption arc, but it was absolutely not. And that's pretty emotionally impactful when we're potentially used to seeing narratives like maybe Avatar with Zuko. He starts the redemption arc in season 2, and he ultimately falls back into a bad place. But there's so much less here with Katra to latch onto than Zuko was at this point, but you still have half the show to go here, and so it's gonna be very interesting, I think, to see what's coming with her. But so that's where we end up in that episode, and then we get this corrupted Katra. I've tried to keep calling her Nega Katra. I don't think that's catching on though. Climbs out of the
Nega Katra,
because she's only like half of who.
Half Nega Katra, that'd be better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, but that's a mouthful. So
I don't know. She's.
I like corrupted Katra.
Corrupted Katra is the easiest thing to understand. Yeah.
It's alliterative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we also get Madame Raz in here at the end with
Mara
save the world, find her, you just need to remember. Yeah. So also this episode we had the Scorpia stuff, and I think the best part is Scorpia being like, I don't know what it is about it, but I just don't like you.
I just don't like you.
I love her so much. God, I love everything about Scorpia.
Contrast like Scorpia's hate to like Katra's hate, like it's very like Scorpia's like. Scorpia's like even being nice when she's like hating Adora. Yeah.
Scorpia, I feel like she's been through some stuff. But
yeah, we don't even know what she's been through. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like what is it that makes her so resilient and so optimistic.
Yeah.
I want that in my life, honestly. That's why I look up to Scorpio, really.
You want to be her, or you want to be with someone like Scorpio?
Both.
Okay, so that would be healthy. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I want to be positive, even though I'm evil.
What? No, you're not. Yeah. You also said kitten about that made me think of like, since Katra is a cat person and like a minor, is she a kitten?
Oh my god,
Oh.
Dylan, shut up! Don't even go there.
They're
right now.
children. Okay, I don't know you. We'll see if she meets the family. That's what that makes me think of too. The cat parents. Yeah.
Oh.
Or what if one of her parents is a cat?
Is literally a cat? Yeah.
And one's just
That
like
would
a
be
human.
great.
So she's half. So she's a human and a cat. And
It's
she's
like
half cat.
it's like Thundercats. I guess Thundercats were cat people too, weren't they?
I don't think she's gonna have a full.
What was up
cat
with
parent.
the '80s and cat people, man?
Yeah.
They were really into cats.
Still a lot of cat people in shows we cover, so it's not really
Too many
gone.
cat people.
Still kind of a lot of
But
cats.
like, what if it's just like her mom or something, or like somebody is like literally just I don't know, like a lion. I don't know. She has a mane.
Yeah.
And the other one is
more
just
of
like
a full cat person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just a cat, just like a lion who can talk.
I think this is the best case scenario for Katra next season is with Scorpia in tow, she realizes that she shouldn't have betrayed Entrapta like that and goes after her to Beast Island and reconnects with Entrapta, and then while she's there meets her family. That would be so I assume that's not happening because that's too happy, but like that would be really great for her. All those things happen.
Yeah, everything's coming up, Katra.
Not this season. That's not the motto of this season.
Oh, what
No.
if she has siblings?
That would be good. Yeah, she reconnects with her sisters. Yeah.
Her litter mates.
No.
Aw.
That's what they call cat siblings.
I think none of this is happening because it's all way too happy for Katra. That would be really good.
I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss about where her character is going to go now.
I think it's
Yeah.
a really striking ending to the season. I think all of us thought there would have been at least more, at least threads to grasp onto of happiness for Katra, of redemption, of her being good, right? Like this was like the darkest possible place to go. Which is like, of course, Shiro went here. So it's almost like we should have seen this coming. That makes me hesitant to think that we'll go to better places, but we have to turn the arc around at some point. So we'll see. She also needs some time. She's not going to like turn around right away. She needs some time to process this new state of Adora rejecting her. She ran off with Hordak. Like, what's that? And will all of this be interrupted by Hordak Prime coming?
Oh God, I don't want to think about that.
No.
I hate that little baby is just like a failed clone. I can't take anymore.
Why don't you like that?
I hate the little baby.
It's worse knowing his origin.
Yes. I don't want to feel sympathy.
I feel like you could sometimes call characters, they're just a little baby. This is actually a little baby. Like
it's a little baby, though.
It's a creepy little baby.
It is a
creepy
creepy
little
little
baby.
baby.
You know how, Dylan, you can tell my vocal inflection. I don't like it.
It's a different vocal inflection of little baby. That's true.
Like, it's a little baby, but
Yeah,
no, it's a
that's
little
different.
baby. That's how I talk to my cats. Like, oh, hey, baby. Like,
Which one's Katra right now? If you were going to talk to Katra,
Oh.
not the
Oh,
one
God.
you talk to your cats, right? Not that one.
no, I would be like, hey, sweetie. Like,
Oh, you do? Okay.
I call my animal sweetie,
Oh,
sweetheart.
so you would talk to
Aw.
Katra like a cat, not
Yeah,
like a,
why not?
It's not good.
Well, no, okay. I can play like therapist, and you would be like, hey,
So you'll
how you
help her
doing,
out,
honey?
okay.
Like, you could be like the mom who like says honey and sweetheart
How
and
you
stuff.
doing? You doing all right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll try to help. We'll see if we can reach out to Katra to help her. But no. Yeah. I think
Well,
that's
she's
it.
in a fictional plane of existence, so
But she went to an alternate, also fictional plane of existence.
I
in
don't
these
think that we
episodes,
can.
But still, no. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good for Remember. I just really loved the ending. Also, a patron finish. I wanted to point out the cinematography in this episode. I agree. It's like really gorgeously shot. Both these episodes, but the end of Remember Everything. With Katra and Adora in the woods, and I feel like it does continue into a lot of really great shots in the portal. So let's get into the portal. We could keep it going with, if you're tired of us talking about Katra and Adora, then we can continue talking about Katra and Adora just to close it out, okay? So she doesn't, Katra doesn't come up till the end of this episode. Corrupted Katra comes out. She says, "Hey Adora," immediately. The classic slogan.
Hey Adora.
Yeah, Michael wrote an article on our site ranking the Hey Adoras. I think this was number 1. Spoilers for the article. So apparently, yeah, this is So do we like this Hey Adora? The evil Katra saying Hey Adora. I mean, it had to happen.
It had to happen, and I was okay with it.
I think it was a little funny. I think all of them are funny.
I'm over it.
You're over Hey Adora.
Oh no!
God, you know what, Dylan? There are so many more gay things that happened in my life. I don't need that, man.
What does that mean? So just because it doesn't rank in the top 20 gay media, like gay things.
All right, it did when it was the first thing. I was like, oh yeah, that's nice to my ears. Now it's just like, okay, do you really have to do this like every time they meet? Come on,
it's their catchphrase. Yeah. We're not done with it yet. Don't worry, we're not done with it.
God, do you think they call? Oh yeah, that's a good line read. You should just do it all the time.
No, I think it was. I don't think it was like an organic
Hey,
thing from the recordings. I think it was probably like a meme and built into the writing. Like it was, I think it seems like a pretty integral part of there. Oh, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I still like it. This is one of my more favorable parts of Katra.
Maybe I'm just like sick of people freaking out about it.
People are a little annoying about it. Yeah, it's true.
Maybe I'm just sick of that.
you tend to hipster reaction to a lot of things. If people,
I went to art school. What do you want from me?
No, I'm not saying it's bad. It's fine. I kind of agree. If people are too into something,
not like animation art school. I went to fine art school. Well,
does that make you more or less hipster?
More.
Okay, more hipster.
No, animation and like illustration. Those were the nerds. And fine arts were like the freaks who like smoked cigarettes and did a bunch, like just ran around campus naked.
Is that you?
I was the latter. Yes.
Okay. There you go. Hey Adora, yeah. So yeah, it happened again, and she says it while putting her finger to Adora's forehead, and you felt the tension right in that moment.
Of course.
Yeah, and then she like pins her to the countertop. In the Crimson, we go to all like these past locations, because reality's collapsing. So she pins her to the Crimson Waste countertop, and I was like, "Whoa, yeah, that was a lot for for the two of them." Also, when she's like evil and she just like said, "I hate you, I'm gonna blow up the world," and then we're right back to the sexual tension. Like, okay, this is clearly not healthy. What's going on? But I guess she's literally a corrupted form of her, so of course it's not healthy.
Nope.
Yeah. There you go. She says, "It's all your fault, Adora." They're like at the bridge from Whiteout from last season. I loved that. They're at the Seagate, a few other places too. And she says, "Admitted, Adora, the world would still be standing if you'd never come through the portal in the first place."
Oh my God, like that was her fault? Jesus.
You made me this. You took everything from me. You broke the world and it's all your fault.
It wasn't though.
Yeah. I mean, clearly this is the ultimate concentration of all the unhealthy views about Adora that Katra has into this one kind of dialogue here. I represent because she's in a corrupted form, so of course she's gonna say the worst parts. But yeah, this is the distillation of all of the crap about Adora that's in her head, and yeah, it's really frustrating and sad. And Adora says, "I didn't make you do anything. You made your choice. Now live with it." Bam! And she bam. I didn't expect her to punch her. I'll say that.
Don't you love Dylan's like line reads?
I do.
Look, this is a recap. Gotta recap the episode. Yeah, bam. That's the punching sound.
God, you're like Emerald.
Kapow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like Emerald.
Emerald.
Yeah, you remember he's like the chef. I don't remember. His last name is Italian.
Oh yeah,
I was like, which of the 3 emeralds in our shows that we cover? No, the Chef Emerald. Okay, yeah.
Chef Emerald from like 2003.
Yeah, what's he up to?
Hanging out, okay?
You think he watches She-Ra?
I think he does watch She-Ra. I think we should check in on that.
Yeah, yeah. Emerald, is it Legrassi or Legrassi?
I know. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Call us.
Yeah.
We'll guest spot on the podcast.
We'll put a Google phone number.
Yeah.
I think he's probably still doing cooking shows. Okay, so yeah. So what, any big reactions to the punch and to this moment with Nega Katra?
I mean, good for Adora. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So this is the moment where she finally realizes she. Yeah, I mean, so April, you said I don't, I didn't necessarily have the same thing as you, where I'm just like constantly frustrated at Adora for not letting go of Katra, because I don't know. I guess I do want her to like. It's tough because you want her to like reach out and be nice and like try to break, but it's also like recognizing that it's not working and it's not going to happen. And I don't know. I feel like I would be Adora in this situation of not, or at least in a hypothetical perspective, like being like not knowing when to stop trying to connect like that. I feel like I feel like a lot of us would be in that position, so which is why I think it's effective.
I think that might be, and I don't know, it's gonna sound like really weird, but I feel like I have experience in like finally realizing, okay, this relationship is toxic, it's not good, and then like recognizing that and then taking myself out of it kind of situation. So I mean, if you're not in a it's kind of like whenever people are like, oh, well, like, why don't people who are getting abused just like say something? Well, it's not that easy. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's kind of like that, where it's like, oh, you don't realize you're in this toxic relationship, so you just continue on with it. And that's, I mean, maybe, and obviously it's frustrating to watch, but like, I feel like
maybe it's the type of thing you need to have experienced it and understand like what's happening, and clearly Adora has not had experience in this.
Yeah.
I would like to cry. Sorry to interrupt, but like we're such adults about this. We're like, she is in a toxic relationship, and she not to like I'm not making fun of you, April, but like I'm just thinking about how if we were like 15 years old, we would not be saying these things.
Oh no,
it would be a different analysis. Yeah,
it would be way different.
So I don't blame anyone for interpreting the show in different ways where they're at in life, I guess, because we are. Yeah.
Keep going though. Sorry.
I feel maybe like I would just appreciate it more if I wasn't the way I am.
No, I would be like, oh, it me, and then just I would be super into
it me.
Well, yeah, it me. No, but no, that's exactly what it is. Like, okay, maybe 16-year-old April would have connected more on this and been like, oh my gosh, Adora, like, just Katra, why? Like, and so maybe that's just the mindset I need to start putting myself into, and just being like, okay, April.
Yeah.
Like, you are 16 years old watching this show. Go. Like,
whereas right now I'm like, oh, it me. I don't really want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're not necessarily. I don't think we're not connecting with it. I think in our own way, it's just different. Yeah, we're connecting with it in a different way than we would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Okay, so that's, and then we talked about the moment of them at the end being done with each other. So okay, we're done with Katra. Okay, any last comments? We can talk about the other parts of the portal.
No more.
We need to talk about other things.
Glimmer and Bo in looking different.
I liked Bo's outfit.
Scholar, historian Bo with glasses, and Glimmer had like this frilly dress on, and
very cute.
They both look younger. They're the same age. I called them younger in the first podcast. They're not like younger, but they look. It's like they're less. They've less hardened because everything's perfect here. Yeah.
They're more youthful.
Yeah, I love both of them. They're great. And then and then I noticed in the beginning of this episode, you notice on rewatch now that Angella's gonna die. It's like, how did they set this up this season? Well, first of all, in episode 4, we had the whole like arc with Glimmer and Angella, and then in the beginning of Portal, Glimmer and Angella are like portaling around, having fun and laughing with each other, and it's like, oh yeah, great, thank you for doing this right before she's gonna die in 15 minutes. It's like the happiest scene in the show. It is that, I think it's the happiest scene in the show. And then Micah's comes in and they're all like, what a happy family.
Also, that it made me really sad watching it.
It is really sad.
Well, not just because of that, but also because Micah. Like I was thinking way too much about it, and I was like, man, if only like Micah hadn't died. Like,
yeah.
like their relation, Glimmer and Angella's relationship would have been so much better.
That's sad.
Great.
But then I get really fueled, like, because I'm like, wow, Angela, like, you literally let your husband's death, like, impact your relationship with your daughter so badly.
Yeah, but, like, of course it impacted it.
I mean, yeah, but, like, also, like...
I mean, I think Glimmer and Angela were, like, they fought a lot, but they're, like, a very strong, like, bond that they built. I feel like maybe they're having more fun and happier. Maybe they don't have as deep of a bond in this reality.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's okay that they fight sometimes.
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, you're gonna fight with your mom.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. That's where my mind went to. I was just like, oh, I feel so sad.
I think that's what the episode's supposed to do. It's like, oh, here's how everything would have been so much better than the pain that we're feeling all the time.
It's so much more effective, though, like, after, like, watching the entire season and knowing what happens at the end of the episode, because I was just like, oh, this is just so sad to watch. And I say that as I laugh and smile, but...
It's sad, yeah. Sad in a fun way? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then the Glimmer and Bo start to remember the Glowdor, like a speech about what's happening. That was pretty fun to Micah. Seeing Micah alive in general. Let's talk about Micah. Micah is, he's here, he's alive, and then at the end, when him and Angela start to remember, as Angela flies off, Micah says, Angela, wait, I'm not...
You're not
dead.
What?
Dead,
not dead.
Probably. Yeah, dead. Yeah.
He's not dead.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sam, what do you think of Micah?
He's alive.
Well, as a person.
I like that he's short.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he's thick.
He's like a beardy guy, right? I feel like
I'm looking at a picture of him right now. He looks like a little bit like Zuko.
Old Zuko.
Old Zuko, yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Or I don't know. No, not Zuko. Sokka's dad, Hakoda.
Hakoda. That's an interesting comparison.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, because he's short and the beard. Anyway, I don't know. He's a dude.
Yeah. And April, it's not you. It sounds like your primary reaction was sadness at him being there and what could have been.
What could have been?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still exciting to, like, see him, you know. And he seems like such a nice guy. Like,
I like that he's shorter than Angela.
Me too. I continued to love that. I was just like, I love that you are shorter than your wife. This is great.
Shorter than your immortal wife.
And then he has long hair. I like his look. I don't know much about him, but
yeah, that's true. Yeah. We don't know much. It seems like he's a good look. We saw him when he was younger,
a child.
And we'll see him again because he's alive. I definitely think he's on Beast Island.
Yeah,
he's somewhere.
I don't know. It's kind of the only place we know about. We haven't been to, so he's got to be there if he's anywhere, or like in an alternate reality or planet or whatever.
Maybe when we go get Entrapto, we'll find him.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think I could see everything converging on Beast Island next season. Yeah, no, Entrapto's going there at least. But then again, we heard last season Katra's going to Beast Island and then she didn't go. So
you didn't.
Who knows? Yeah, that's fun that Micah could be alive, and will be all the more tragic when Glimmer is spiraling because both her parents are dead, and she's secretly alive and she doesn't know it, and yeah. Sigh.
Aren't we all just secretly alive?
In what sense is it a secret?
I don't know. Not a lot of people, like, I know we have, like, a more further reach than your average bear, but, like, I don't know. Like, your existence
to someone we don't know, we're secretly alive because they don't know of us or our status as alive. Okay, there you go. That's what you were saying.
It was. I'm just so stupid.
That's a deep thought, Sam.
I like it.
Deep thoughts with Sam.
Deep thoughts, yeah. The further you go into the podcast, the deeper thoughts you get with Sam. Everyone knows that. Yeah. You also get more food talk. We'll see if.
Oh my god, was there any?
Okay, I'll give you until then to think about if there's
there was
the ration cake. Yeah,
the ration cake that looked terrible.
Yeah, they took all Kyle's ration bars to make the cake, the gray kind.
He was hungry.
I can't think about Kyle now because he's voiced by the same dude who voices what's his name? Todd in 12 Forever.
Okay.
Fun
Is that
fact.
good or bad?
It's good, but
okay.
I'm not gonna be like Kyle.
Everyone thinks Kyle's going to be like He-Man or some sort of
Oh my
importance or
God,
something.
okay,
whatever.
Everything. But Kyle's
Go
got
back
to
to
be.
the 80s if you want to watch He-Man.
We're not going to
man.
know. Yeah, go back to 3 years from now when the new show comes out, which is. Yeah,
It's like how Hercules and Xena were a thing at the same time, but Xena was like way more popular.
Yeah, that'll be like this probably.
Yeah, and Xena was way more gayer.
Almost certainly this one, yeah. So, got Glimmer and Bow, remember, and I noticed on this viewing, Adora Naruto runs, and at least it looks like it with Glimmer and Bow behind her. So I just want to point that out. And then, the whole stuff with Angella and Micah, and then we were with Entrapta for a while, and Entrapta remembers. Oh, here you go. To fulfill our contractually obligated Entraptak mention of the podcast, Entrapta remembers that Hordak exists and is sad, I think.
Yeah.
So
that
that
was her
happens
buddy.
this episode. Her buddy, yeah. Her lab, she's like, I had a lab partner. Yeah.
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 Who I'm in love with. She didn't say that, but yeah.
My God.
Then Beatrice isn't here. You can tell because we actually spent the podcast talking about like the episodes and not in Hordak. No, that was Hordak and Chapter were part of the earlier episode, so it's appropriate, right?
I feel like sometimes it seems like I don't like what I watch and talk about on this podcast, but I do. It's just certain things that people latch onto. I don't.
It's like. So you're either in on the Hordak and Trapped or you are baffled by people being so in on it. There's
I'm
one or
out
the
of
other.
it.
You're out of it. Okay.
Don't go near me with that.
Okay, good. We won't. That's it for the podcast. There you go. Then, we see Mara. In this episode. Yeah. She looks awesome.
Yes.
I like her.
See more of her. Yeah. I'm sure we will see more of her.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
Next
Not
season,
today.
Not today.
Yeah, not today, but maybe
because
someday.
The next season 4 is not out yet, but when it will be, we'll see.
In like, I don't know, what was like the month? Like 4 more.
We don't have a
months?
date yet, but
In December.
I would predict like October for next season. But yeah,
being October. Why not November?
If they split it up again, it'll be like October. November. If they don't split it up, it might be like December or January. But yeah.
I hope enough of us complained about them splitting.
They do not. DreamWorks does not listen. We complained as the Voltron fandom. They did not listen, so don't. They're not going to listen.
I think it's fine.
It's
I
not
like
the
it.
worst. It's not the worst thing in the world. This season, it had a natural split. We'll see if the next season has a natural split.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It could be worse.
Yes, I will say that it was very like naturally split, though. It was still
That was just a coincidence. It
Well,
was
because of that, it was like
I know.
2 different arcs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all TV kind of has a mid-season finale, but sometimes a mid-season is more defined than others, and so
Yeah.
we'll see. We had a rare Glimmadora moment where they start like holding hands, and then Bo joins in, and then
I can't believe it.
I was living for it.
Thanks, Bo.
Can I say that I loved Glimmer's dress?
Yes, right?
So cute.
Yeah.
Like, not that she's not already cute, but like, I was just like, this dress is just so, I love it. And she's still got like the biker shorts underneath, so she can still run around and do things and not have to worry about stuff. Like, I really loved it. I, for a moment, was like, oh, for Halloween, I'm going to be Glimmer in this cute
Yes,
dress.
be Glimmer.
But
the alternate universe Glimmer. It's an obscure costume. But,
such an obscure
mean,
no
it's
one
cosplay,
gets it.
but- yeah. No, it was incredible. Should she adopt this look all the time, or is
Yes.
it too? She's too hardened though now for this look.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
wish she would
has
wear
to go
it
through
more.
dimmer, and then she'll
Yeah,
get back around to it.
Oh yeah, will she get back to this point after she goes through the dimmer arc? Yeah, then she'll get to this. Yeah, then she'll be happy again, and she'll wear this dress.
She's gonna look so good in those dark colors when she's dim.
We're just excited for the dimmer fashion choices. Yeah, aren't we all? Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that too in October, November, whenever.
Perfect.
So, yeah. Probably not right away at some point. Last major thing is Angelo closing the portal. This is a big scene. I mean, I think this is like gorgeously shot, a big moment in the episode. She stays behind to close the portal. She is in theory dead, but none of us believe she's dead. Yeah, April and I think April and I both mentioned we didn't necessarily think it was built up enough
Yeah.
Would you agree, April? Sam, do you agree with that?
I definitely agree. Yeah. I think, I feel like I barely know her, so why does she get, like, the big hero moment? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looking back on the season, they like put stuff in to lead up to this, like I said, and the like specifically like her dying and how that's going to affect Glimmer. We see a big thing with her and Glimmer in episode 4, and we see the scene in the beginning of this episode. Like there's stuff here that leads up to this. It's just it still feels really random to me. Like, okay, Angela just happened to be there, and Adora's like, I have to do this. Who else can? And she's like, yeah, I'm here. I'll do it. So like that was just I don't know.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't like outrageously offensive or anything. I just found it to be random.
It was random, and then like there's the whole thing like because given what we know about Angela up until this point is that she can be a little bit protective of her daughter, and for her to just be like, all right, I'm just gonna sacrifice myself, like take care of my daughter, is just so like outside of what we know her to be as well. So I'm like, who is this random lady deciding to like sacrifice herself for this?
Yeah, I mean, the counter argument is the way the show tries to build up to it is she tells Adora, I tell you a secret, it's I'm a coward and I always stay behind. And this is something we'd seen as she has a tremendous regret over sending Micah, in quotes, to his death. So this is like the culmination of her, like, regretting that and being too much on the sidelines as she's, like, taking action here. So that's the way the show was trying to build up to that, I think.
I don't know. It didn't resonate with me, so... That's
like,
just me. Like, I can see other people like really being into it, you know?
I don't know if I've seen anyone like super into it. I think people, I mean, it's like a gorgeous scene. As much as I like understand the narrative direction, like I recognize what I just said about it. I also agree it didn't really resonate with me. I didn't like feel big emotions watching that scene.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's, I guess like there's part of me that's trying to like be like, oh yeah, I can see where people would be really into this, or like, you know, like, oh well, maybe it's just you, April, like because it's you. I don't know. Like,
no, I'm with you on this one.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only person.
Sounds like Sam is also here.
But... What? Hello, I'm here.
Oh, you are here. Okay, that's what I was confirming, that you're still here. So yeah, that's the Angela stuff. But
sorry,
I feel like
I was too busy looking at pictures of Glimmer
with the dress. What's your thoughts on Glimmer's fashion choices?
I was trying to find the dress and I couldn't find it.
Oh,
and there's no Google for like episode.
I was looking on the She-Ra wiki. I'm sorry. Jeez.
Yeah, no.
You think they would have it, but they don't. I like her hair.
Angela or Glimmer?
Both.
Okay.
Glimmer's hair reminds me of a stuffed animal I used to have when I was a kid.
Aww.
It was a bear, and I named it Midnight, and it had little sparkles in its fur.
Ooh, maybe that's Dimmer's name, Midnight.
Ooh.
My mom died. I'm changing my name to Midnight.
I'm all for this right now.
Why would it be Midnight?
What time is it right now? It's midnight. Oh, that's my new name. I don't know. She needs a new name.
Like,
She's
but like,
Eve or midnight just sounds better. But
it sounds cool. She's an edgy teen. She's having her emo phase right now. That's
God,
what this is all
she
about.
like emo bangs and stuff.
She got the whole outfit.
Yes.
We thought it would be like dark magic art, but really just Glimmer's just going emo for a season. That's all.
She dyes her hair black, but her hair is magic and just refuses.
It keeps changing back, and she gets so frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be dark. Call me Midnight.
Bo's like, Glimmer, call me Midnight. Yeah. Yeah, this is what I want to see from the Dimmer arc now.
Got black lipstick smeared all over.
Yeah.
Mascara.
I think we cracked it. I think this is what's happening next season.
Yeah,
I'm
Glimmer's emo phase. Do you think they're trying to license My Chemical Romance for this?
They should. They should definitely.
Yeah, they're Netflix buddies. Gerard Way has Umbrella Academy, so
they could happen.
Good.
Okay, well, we'll stay tuned for Glimmer's emo phase coverage next season. I think that's it. The Hordak Prime is so that's where you've been, little brother.
Little brother.
Prime,
God, do you remember Jimmy Neutron?
And,
like,
why does that remind you of Jimmy Neutron?
What were the egg people's name? The Yokians?
Maybe.
No, like from the movie, like they're these egg people who like capture all the adults, but they like spy on Earth first from their spaceship. That's what I feel like is happening here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he just realized Etheria existed, so he's like, oh, here's where you are.
Yeah, just like what is their name? Is it the Yoketopians, Eggtopians, something like that? They're egg people.
Okay.
Have you seen this movie?
I've seen it, but I don't remember what those people are called.
I mean, I saw it 15 years ago. Yeah,
I can't believe you haven't seen it within the last 5 years.
I really should. I should just do a Jimmy Neutron rewatch.
I think it's on. It might still be on Netflix. I don't remember.
Let's do that.
What are the Jimmy Neutron She-Ra comparisons other than the aliens?
There's aliens and
the Jimmy tinkers, and so does Bo.
Yes.
So Jimmy's Bo.
There's a blonde.
Who's Carl?
girl.
Who's Sheehan?
Is
Adora Cindy?
Yeah, no, is Katra? No, is Katra Cindy?
Katra's Cindy. Katra's definitely Cindy. Yeah.
Katra's Cindy.
But then that would make Adora Jimmy.
But she's not Jimmy.
She's not
She's Jimmy in the show structure, though.
I think she'd be closer to Sheen.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's Carl?
So I guess.
So.
I thought Bo...
No. Well, Bo has to be Jimmy, right?
We thought Bo was Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah, so I
She
guess...
can be both.
Well,
Okay,
no.
Entrapped is Jimmy.
I think Entrapped is Jimmy. No, I think Entrapped... Oh, Entrapped is Jimmy, but I think Entrapped is Carl in terms of the quirkiness.
Oh.
Or, I don't know, is Carl quirky? Or no, Sheen's the quirky one, right?
They're both quirky.
Well, Sheen has, like, his Ultraman action figures. So, like I feel like Sheen is closer to Adora.
Adora has to be Jimmy because Catradora is the Jimmy Cindy. That's it.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately. But, you
didn't ship Jimmy Cindy? That was the OTP.
Who's Glimmy?
Yeah.
Glimmy.
Yeah, who's Glimmer? Glimmy, Midnight, excuse you.
I don't know. What were other children on that show?
I don't remember anyone other than who we just named.
Who was the bulky or what was his name? The clap, 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 snap, snap, snap.
Who's the dog?
Goddard. I feel like Swiftwind would be that, but Goddard was way better than Swiftwind.
I feel like
How dare you?
Swiftwind is like Carl.
He should be.
Yeah, so yeah, okay, we'll do it. Yeah, yeah, that's it. No Swiftwind this
There we
season.
go. That's our Jimmy Neutron AU of.
Yeah, we didn't really settle on anything. But that's okay. That's
it's
our
fine.
attempt at an AU.
We floated around all of the ideas.
We got it. Yeah.
Wait, Hordak is the mom.
Okay.
Shadow Weaver is the dad.
Oh my god, I don't think so.
Pass. Back to the episode briefly. I forgot to mention Adora hugs Glimmer when she breaks the news to her about her mom, and they touch foreheads, and that was the other Glimmadora moment.
So deep.
It was a great moment between them, but I didn't buy it.
By what aspect?
Like it's just really odd that like she like. It seemed very forced because immediately, like as soon as like they're like we're safe. Like, Glimmer immediately starts talking about her mom, and I'm like, I feel like that's not what you would be talking about, right?
It was, yeah. I agree with you. It felt convenient that it brought
that up. And then, like I understand what the show is trying to do with this, like, we're not going to actually say what happened, because then, like, they're putting that idea in our heads, but it didn't come off in the same way that I thought they meant it to. Like, oh, she's so overcome with emotion, she can't actually admit what happened, versus like, we don't want to tell you she's dead because then you'll believe she's dead. Like, we want that to still be like ambiguous.
That's we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do.
That's my crazy read. Just
okay. Angella's still alive. We think so, right? Yeah. So I don't know if that's what the show's doing there, but yeah, I could see. I don't know. Sad though.
Does anybody truly die as long as you remember them?
Remember them. Yep, that was one of the names of this episode.
It's true. That wasn't on purpose, but I guess when like the last person you remember you die, then you actually do die.
Okay, Sam. Any other final thoughts other than that deep?
I still love Scorpia. The end.
Was there not enough Scorpia in this
Not
finale?
enough. She was only in the first one, wasn't she?
Yeah, she wasn't even in the second
Oh
episode.
man, that's something else. I aspire to be her. I love her so much. I'm gonna read Scorpia fanfic when we're done here.
Catpia fanfic?
Catpia fanfic, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Or just Scorpia.
Maybe just Scorpia. I don't. Do you think Scorpia?
Are there
should
non-shipping fanfics?
Yes, there are.
I've never sought these out.
Whoa.
God.
Why would you read fanfic if not for the show?
Because I want to know. I want to see what other people think about her character. Jeez.
Okay, that's good.
But yeah, these episodes were good,
There you go.
and I love Scorpia. I was gonna say something else about Scorpia.
What else about Scorpia?
Do you think that Scorpia would like get a girlfriend who wasn't Katra?
She'd have to get over her first.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like Scorpia can do that.
With some time, probably.
What do you think Scorpia's nickname is?
Scar.
Scorp.
Scorpy.
I like Scorpy. I'm into it.
Scorpy.
Write that into the fanfic. Scorpy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my Scorpia fanfic. Her
Perfect.
nickname's Scorpy.
Hey, Scorpy, calls out Katra. Okay.
I feel like Bo would call her that.
But yeah.
Aww.
Well, Scorpia has the what's the name for Katra, right? Last season. I don't know.
Wildcat.
Wildcat. Yeah, I shouldn't say it,
Wildcat.
but yeah. So that's good.
I like that.
Okay, April, final thoughts.
No. I feel like we cover I got all my thoughts and opinions.
We got all the Jimmy Neutron takes in there. You know, there's nothing else to talk about.
And I just can't think of another show to compare it to at this moment.
No, there's nothing else. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
Jimmy Neutron.
Okay, so tell us what other aspects of the Jimmy Neutron She-Ra crossover we missed. In the comments, please. Or come to our Discord to tell us about that at overlyanimated.com/Discord. We'd welcome more Jimmy Neutron She-Ra discussion. I think that's the most important part of this podcast. And
Absolutely.
I don't know if you're being serious.
this is the most fun part. I like the midnight. That was my favorite part of this podcast. But also the Jimmy Neutron stuff.
And I like fantasizing about Glimmer trying to dye her hair black.
Yeah.
And it's not going over
Glimmer
well.
face.
It
Let's
just-
get that fanfic.
It like falls out of her hair and just turns her whole. It just dyes her body
Yeah.
because her hair doesn't hold
I
it.
know. That's,
Mhm.
Yeah.
It immediately
rains-
washes out.
Okay, we'll start writing this. We'll collect a fanfic
Okay.
of Midnight.
Jimmy Neutron AU where
And then chapter 2, Jimmy Neutron comes in and it turns into a crossover. Like chapter 1 was just She-Ra. and
Yeah.
then-
Okay.
Okay.
well, you know, the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour did it, so why can't She-Ra? And
That's the next one, yeah.
So what is the Fairly Odd Parents cross like?
Nope, okay. We said there's no other shows to compare it to. That's it.
well, obviously Adora would be Timmy because
Yeah.
Okay. So if you enjoyed this, consider supporting us via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to all our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Juliana, aka Julie Jana. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, Ryan, Steve, Alex, Beatrice, Hugh, Michael, and Needle. That's it for our She-Ra season 3 coverage. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to Beatrice for hosting some of these. Thanks to everyone for being on these. We will be back for season 4 of She-Ra whenever that comes out. We don't have a date as of this recording. Come talk with us on our Discord, overlyanimated.com/Discord. I mod the She-Ra subreddit, our Princesses of Power. That's a good place to talk about She-Ra. And I don't know, anywhere else. So
can you
we're a
talk about
Reddit
Jimmy
club.
Neutron on their subreddit?
No, I would delete Jimmy Neutron. If it was if it was like check out my She-Ra Jimmy Neutron crossover, I would allow it. But if it was just a Jimmy Neutron post, I would obviously have to delete that. But I might allow it though. What if it was in reference to this podcast? Then it could maybe be on topic.
I'm
But
going to
I don't know
go
if you're-
on there and post so many Jimmy Neutron things.
you're gonna make my life really hard as
No, I'm gonna figure out a way to make it appropriate.
Okay, no one's gonna understand though.
But they'll have to listen to the podcast.
They'll listen, then they'll understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna be like, who is this crazy chick posting all this Jimmy Neutron stuff?
And then you'll be like, check out this podcast. Yeah. Okay. There you
Exactly.
go. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.